Yeah, so apparently I have a slick mouth according to John's head. In this clip from episode 7, he tries to make that stick. But listen, I don't start things, I just accessorize. Feathers were ruffled, a manager may have been summoned, and yes, we get into it. If you're ready, listen up, and then meet us in the comments.
Said, thank you for indulging me with respect to the politics of the last week. I think we're going to be watching to see how Democrats take advantage of it. They're willing to, in some ways, take the fight to Republicans to say, these guys are doing something that is taking away from you and they're putting it in their pockets. It's harming you. It has to be framed in a way that allows Democrats to be on the offensive instead of a defensive.
Yeah, where are you?
Probably behind those feathers that you have going on.
Stop hating on these feathers.
Speaking of hate, you have apparently become the recipient of some things that were said in our comment section. I know that over the course of a week or so, someone even called you someone with a slick mouth. And you were sort of taken aback and didn't know what slick mouth meant. And you did a little research in terms of what slick mouth meant, and you were able to find out what did you find out?
First off, that is definitely an 803 bullshit, because I did a comprehensive poll of 4 people and no one knew what that was but one person. And so asking that person what that meant, they said it was someone that could be a little bit sassy, that could be, I don't know, whatever. She ended up saying that it's probably a description of me. Whatever, regardless, I think that's some 803 bullshit. So there you go. No one else knew what that was.
So slick mouth is someone who can be a little sassy, who can be a little abrasive and ornery at times, is someone who has, quote unquote, a smart mouth and is always in the middle of something, always starting some mess. And I would say that pretty much sums you up with this.
Not starting something. I just don't back away from something. You know what I'm saying?
In the middle of some mess.
No. I don't start things. I'm not a Michael Jackson song. I ain't trying to be
A black Karen.
I will talk to the manager. I am a manager talking fool. I love it. The blaring of it all.
And talking to the manager, I know there was a comment that that got your feathers up, I should say, with one of the subscribers who said something about hoping that your partner, they or she, was receptive and tolerated you. What say you about why it is that people, and it's a lot of women, why do you think you get so much hate from other women?
John is very triggering, and I'm thinking that's going to fall into a narrative of men trying to pit us against each other. I find that men that bring that up, they're afraid of the power of women. That's what I think. You know, that collectively we can move mountains. And so I think there's a concerted effort from some areas of this world, the media, white media, some of our black men. There's this concerted effort to keep us apart because they're afraid of our unity. So I take offense, sir, at that statement.
Really?
I find that there are plenty of women that enjoy me. There are plenty of men that enjoy me. There are plenty of women that I'm not their cup of tea. And there are plenty of men I am not their cup of tea. So I don't know if there's a disproportionate amount of women that don't care for my brand. I think that that's something that men, such as yourself, like to do because you're afraid of us.
Well, look, first of all, I'm not afraid of you.
You are afraid of me.
No, I think that you have a way, is an acquired taste with it. Why even adjusting your feathers? Are they falling off? Why is it still alive?
Could be. Taking flight, John. You're also offended by this conversation.
This is a PG show and you're here, pulling up feathers. So I'm always interested when you get this pushback from men about you being of a strong opinion. How does that make you feel?
It doesn't make me feel anyway. I've always been of strong opinion. Probably in the womb, I was of strong opinion. And so, like I said, I don't try and start things, but I am not afraid to get involved with things. And in fact, sometimes I play out these scenarios in my head when I can get involved with it. I do. I am not risk averse or conflict averse. I'm not passive aggressive. I prefer more aggressive. Just get it out. Got something to say it to my face, as our girl said. Say it to my face.
So again, you have a slick mouth, is what you have a slick mouth.
I don't even care for that word. I don't like that turn of phrase.
But your friend who you did reach out to, and she said,
The
no,
only one outside of 803, that was a 30, that 313.
but she said what? What specifically did she say when you reached out to her?
I can't remember details of conversations that have no concern to me. I can't. I'm so busy and important in my head. I just can't. I don't have room for that, John.
Remember.
In my slick mouth.
And I think her exact words were after she defined what a slick mouth was, she specifically said, like you have a slick mouth.
I'd love to know anybody else that's ever heard that turn of phrase because I did tell my people that and we laughed for a good hour about the slick mouth. Like, what? Who's ever heard of this before?
So we can either call you slick mouth Lynn or
You're not.
Lynn with the slick mouth.
No, you're not going to do anything with any slickness or my mouth.
That's another episode.
Not on this one, but
Slickness of your mouth. So thinking about what you said in terms of men not being, or men being, specifically black men is what you said, that can be intimidated by strong black women or black women with a strong personality. Why do you think that is?
necessarily know that it's black men, and I don't know if I said that or not, but I can say that there are some men, and like I'm an equal opportunity life ruiner, so I just don't stay in one area of town all over the place. That
Ostriches would agree.
So I think that sometimes we talked about you being a C player, right? And so there are times where women are like, I'm just not interested in your C playerness. And so you need to find Dora the Explorer, get yourself a little map and a monkey, and get your ass off the couch. Do something. And so when you have women that want to hold you accountable and make you a better version of yourself or make you want to be a better version of yourself, sometimes you want to go the easier route and you're like, I just want to give C work. Well, go find your C work lady because it ain't happening over here.
So the pushback on that could be that it's not that you're looking for C work, but everything doesn't have to be a struggle. Everything doesn't have to be a fight.
Right. So just do what I say and then we'll be good. Absolutely. Thank you for saying when you see me. I love that.
So your problem is, and I think we're not.
You're a triggerer today, aren't you?
Yeah, I think your slick mouth is part of it. I think part of the other issue is that do you believe that women who are used to making decisions have difficulty standing back and allowing the man to be the head of the household or to the primary voice in the house?
Okay, so that's really therapy. I think that there are a couple of things that go on, right? And so I can only speak for myself and the people that I know that it's also, I think that how you are in the family, like if you're the oldest or the middle or whatever. And for me, being the oldest, there were things that I needed to get done for my brother and sister when my mom and dad were out of the house. And so I was just used to doing. Think that for me, it's challenging to let go of that when I have things that I want done in the order that I want done. And if someone's not on board with that, then again, I'm not passive aggressive. I'm just going to do it or tell you. And then all of a sudden now I'm a slick mouth, overbearing, ostrich wear, feather wearing, whatever.
So what I hear you saying is that you want things done the way that you want them
I
done.
don't necessarily want them done the way I want them done, but I want them done. So if we have a household and we know that there are things that need to be done, we have children, we have household responsibilities. If I'm working outside of the home, you're working outside of the home, we both need to invest in things. And so there's not going to be this dynamic of, well, you're the woman, and so you're going to comb their hair and do whatever. I'm not going to be doing any of that stuff. And have you seen my hair? Why would I be combing anybody else's hair? I'm not doing that.
You're not a hair comber.
No. I don't even believe in it. So,
In full disclosure, you are the whitest black woman that I know.
man, what is all this venom that you're throwing?
It's true. You just said you don't comb your hair. Next, we'll be talking about you washing your hair.
God, you need to stop.
You don't tell me that you don't wash your hair.
I do wash my hair. I just don't. I don't particularly care for comb.
How often do you wash your hair?
I'm to be get on with the story. Back to the subject at hand. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, what's going on?
Often there's a slick mouth lady once you're here. Are we talking once a month?
Back at the ranch.
By not being, you're not a person that likes to be a shotgun rider.
I think that I haven't been a shotgun rider because, and I can say that, and I think we've touched on this a bit, that I have goals, I have ambition, I have a finite amount of time to get things done. And so I don't have time for you to be lollygagging and watching a football game when we got stuff to do. And so we need to get things done. So let's get it done. And then you can go and watch your little whatever you're doing with your running back and your whatnot, so forth, and a Bendigo, whatever you're doing over there. You can do that, but we have things to do. And I think that it's important for partners to make sure that there is equality and equity within the relationship. And, this is interesting because we talked about some of these things about, like this partnership, this soulmate, this whole thing where you're bringing to the table. And I think that that's part of it, right? Having those conversations on the onset of a relationship that these are the things that I need in order to feel validated, respected, whatever in this relationship. And I think that that's important on the onset and the continuous conversation as you're going through the partnership. I can be very assertive, but I can also be very traditional in things, right? So, like, I expect if we're on a date and they don't open up my car door, I'm just going to stand there until I guess the Uber comes and gets me if they drive away. There are some things that I'm very traditional with. And I know that that could be challenging for men if they're like, well, you're so assertive in this way, you're so whatever. Why do I need to open the door for you? Because in my world, that is a sign of respect as being a woman that you respect.
Doesn't respect, would you not agree that respect works the opposite way as well?
I do not. I'm just kidding. Of course I do.
What I heard you say is, okay, it's important for you. Man steps up and understands specifically what it is that you're trying to achieve as a unit, correct? It's also important to you that someone understands that there's a certain time and place to do certain things. You handle your business, and then you need time to be able to do the extracurricular activities like playing video games and things of that sort, hanging with.
Right.
Do you believe, because you said this to me in a conversation before privately, that Black women expect more from Black men in that aspect, and Black men tend to pull back on it and say, okay, I don't have to do this for you with Becky with the good hair.
So that our private conversations now become public displays of whatever.
No, I'm just because I want to get it on record and because I think it's
all kinds of diverse friends. Becky's, I love you. Y'all know I'll see you at brunch. If you're like 10, 15 minutes, I'll be there with my feathers on.
No, seriously. Do you think, because I think that's a part of the conversation in the culture.
John, do we want to go here?
We're here.
Okay, let's go. I do think that. I do think that in some areas that Black women hold Black men at a higher standard. And we collectively, because there are some people obviously that are edge cases, but the women that I know do hold Black men at a higher standard. And I think that we do it, and I can speak personally because I know you can do it. I know that you're capable of giving me A work. I know this. And so if I'm going to stand for you and I'm going to support you and I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader, I expect you to step up. And that's going to require some effort on your part. So you can't always just sit on the couch and pick lint from between your toenails. You're going to need to get up. And if that means that I am now all of these adjectives with my slick mouth and the whatnot, so forth, then that's what it is. I do think that in some areas, again, girls, I'll be there in like 15 minutes, that I think in some areas that my counterparts are a little easier on our Black men. I don't know. I think that maybe it's the affection, the whatever they're getting. There's a lot of nuance to that. I'm just going to be waiting for these comments to roll. It's going to be my ass on this. I think that it's a different dynamic that sometimes my counterparts are a little bit easier, softer with our Black men, and they will receive that as being supported. where Black women can be seen as being nagging because we're holding you to a different letter grade, right? And so supportive is, okay, well, we'll work through this. You'll do it at your own time. I'll hold you down while you do whatever, whatever. Where Black women will do the same, but we're going to go ahead and put a project plan in place. And there's a definite, this isn't an ongoing operation. This is a project. So there's a beginning and an end. Let's talk about the end. I'm going to go ahead and do everything that a project requires. I'm going to help you. I'm going to support you. But baby, let's be real clear. There will be an end. This is not an ongoing effort. You're not going to be sitting your ass on the couch picking lint or whatever you're picking.
What is up with you and the men in your life?
As always, guys, thank you for spending time with us. We know that you have a lot that you could be doing, a lot of things that you could be focused on, and a lot of things that you could be spending your time on. You don't have to listen, but we're glad you did. And as always, take some time today to do something nice for yourself. And while you're at it, do something nice for someone else. Until next time, we'll talk.
Well, thanks for joining us for another lively discussion. This podcast is a production of the SME Media Group, LLC. All rights are reserved. If you like this episode, click on the link in the right-hand corner and check out additional content. Also, be sure to subscribe to the I Take Your Point podcast to ensure you're getting all of your content. Until next time, take care and be well.